your family, your neighbors, your community, your society, because the whole world is one family, and that's the way we all think Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are nowadays deliberating with the help of non-resident Indians, Indian diaspora, how to empower the Indian education ecosystem along with the skills, competencies, capabilities. And the theme, what we are focusing on is preparing global multitasking teachers. Today is the 5th part of the same, and we extend a very warm welcome to Dr. VISWESWARAN ma'am. She would be with us and she would be taking on today's session. And 4 sessions we have already held with you, where basically we have touched. Let's understand the global scenario during pandemic and post-pandemic, how the conditions are. During pandemic, we had almost 90% plus people, that means our children and our teachers, away from schools, colleges, universities, institutions, wherever they are studying or wherever they are teaching or imparting education. They all were away from those brick and mortar institutions. Post-pandemic scenario, when we see children, they have got used to digital technology. They're making optimum use of it. And when you carry out a survey, they are quite happy, satisfied. The only thing is there is a digital divide. People, those are staying in the metros and at the prominent places, they have got a better bandwidth vis-a-vis the people. Those are in villages or far-flung places. So we got to put in hard work, sincere efforts, and all of us as one society, we have to plan what do we do, how do we do, so that quality education reaches everybody. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very warm welcome to Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN ma'am, and we start today's session. No presentation from my side. We will go straight to Madam and we will take on today's session. Hearty welcome to Madam, and let's proceed with the 5th part of our deliberations. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your kindness and patience. I am going to share my screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were looking yesterday at the big data disruptionists and just one second, and some other tech jobs that our teachers could do quite easily. So you can see here, you have the big data analysts, big data disruptionist. We discussed some examples yesterday. We also talked about resident big data educator. So somebody that is who is at the location, whether it's a school, college, university, or even a corporation. So they know about big data. Then the employees or other teachers or colleagues or professors have to be taught to understand what big data is and how it can be used. So that would be their job as a resident big data coach. Then you have, or educator. Then you have the social media has just erupted in a very big way. So you have a social media content manager, social media technical support provider, social media content creator, and social media customer support manager, and social media marketing manager. These are all new jobs that have come up that are fantastically well paying, and they're also very, very soul satisfying. And they can easily be done on a part-time basis. So if you're a teacher during the daytime, or you're a coach or a tutor during the daytime, then in the evenings, you can very easily run this for people in America who need this kind of support. People like me who would gladly hire a teacher who's also a social media content manager. So I will tell them, look, I need you to research and pull up all the latest articles on asthma, because I'm serving the parents of children with asthma. And I need you to search on this topic, how is asthma and coffee or caffeine intake related, or how is asthma and diet related, or what are certain allergens that can trigger asthma and the food, so on and so. I can just give very specific topics. They can pull up research articles. I can tell them, look in these 20 or 40 websites and look in PubMed, which is the United States government of the National Library of Medicine. And I can tell them, give me all the articles that you find on this topic in a sort of a white paper format, send it to me. I will read it and I will post from it as an article or as a post. So that is, or once I train them, then they can post it themselves. So they themselves can be a content manager. They can go into those 10, 20, 40 different websites, pull up the content. And once I teach them what is okay to post, what is not okay to post, or, take my, write something and then take my blessing and post it. So content manager is somebody who creates content that is relevant. And I can even share an example of a post that I did today, but that I did on LinkedIn and on Facebook on Halloween and asthma. Now, why is this important? There are a lot of new parents and new parents with children who have been newly diagnosed with asthma who may not know this. Of course, if you're a veteran parent and you've already taken care of a child with asthma for several years, you would know something like this. But even a veteran parent may forget some things. So I kind of looked, I read in a bunch of different websites, and I thought of several things that I did with my own child over Halloween, and I wrote an article. And you cannot believe the amount of engagement. This we call dopamine detox, right? If you want me to show you how dopamine works, do I have a minute to share a screen that I can share with you, just to show you an example of how the social media content generation works?
Please go ahead, ma'am.
May I? Okay.
Sure, ma'am, please.
Thank you. It will just take me 1 minute to pull it up, please. Thank you. So I'm sharing with you now my LinkedIn feed. I get a lot of different people, I'm following a lot of people. So whoever I'm following, and certain relevant ads are also coming in that feed, right? Look, we're talking about dopamine, and look at right here, we are having this about dopamine. How brain cells send dopamine to each other. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical that acts as a messenger between neurons. Dopamine is released when your brain is expecting a reward. It is also a contributing factor in motor function, mood, and decision making. After being released, the neurotransmitter binds to receptors on the postsynaptic membrane, which stimulates an action potential in the postsynaptic neuron. A great book on how the brain grows new connections via neuroplasticity is available here. Look at this little video about how dopamine receptors prime the brain for the expectation of reward. So when people get addicted to the likes that they get on their posts, the like is a reward, right? And that's why we talk about it being a detox, right? So now look at this. This is Rob Allen from United Kingdom. I didn't know him before I started to post about asthma. Suddenly he introduced himself. I became a friend. We had a long conversation, and he sells air purifiers in bulk in all over the world, but he's out of the United Kingdom. So I made a new friend, but I wanted to show you the post. And in fact, I wanted to show it to you in my, not under the Taproot Asthma Control, where you can also see organically, it has 6 impressions. And this is it's kind of a longish post, but it says, any problem you have, contact us. All the Halloween candy has nuts, dairy, soy, gluten, sesame, coconut, gelatin, and other allergens. So you need to plan ahead of time so that the child doesn't get asthma just because they went out trick-or-treating, right? You don't want your child to have an acute asthma attack because you don't know how severe or it could be, and that could be unpredictable, even if the child's asthma is well controlled. So make a deal that you will trade out homemade, non-candy or allergen-free candy treats when they bring home all their Halloween candy and turn it into you, right? So make an agreement with them. Pair it with another reward. Maybe you have a Halloween party at home with the other children, right? Then there's something called teal-colored pumpkins, which is kind of a bluish-green color. And in the homes where they put out these bluish green color pumpkins, they serve allergen-free treats. So the children are safe, supposedly, to, I mean, if you believe that person, then you can, I mean, if you know that person, right, and they're in your neighborhood or they're a friend, and they have a teal colored pumpkin, then you know, okay, this is somebody that is safe that I can take the street from. Then Halloween night can be cold. It's already cold today. The big cold snap hit here. I heard from Chitra ma'am that it's cold in Delhi and North India too right now. So I hope you're all staying safe and protecting yourselves, wearing warm clothing and all those things. So here with asthmatic children, if they breathe cold air, then they get an asthma attack. So I told them about how to manage that, make sure their immunizations are up to date. And the costumes that they wear, if they come from warehouses or attics, if they've been stored for a year or two or whatever, they can be full of dust, mold, and other allergens. So make a homemade fresh costume, right? Now's the time to talk about it because they still have about 12 days and they can do it. But if I told them just a day or two before, I could not write so much about it, right? So always give them advance preparation time when you're creating a social media content like this. And then other things that they never think about, even those veteran parents who've had children with asthma for many years, that makeup, paint, you know, certain kinds of clothing, so the materials of the clothing, smelly things, you know, like if you have, if you need turpentine to take off the face paint, right? A few years ago, my son wanted to be Jackie Chan for Halloween. Jackie Chan is his favorite action hero. So I contacted a makeup artist who's a Pakistani lady in Sugarland, where a lot of Indian and Pakistani families live. And I asked this lady if she would dress my child up or do face paint on him to make him look like Jackie Chan. So we took him to her house and she painted his face and he looked like Jackie Chan from what she's a Hollywood trained makeup artist, you know. So so that's, you know, another job you can do is to teach people how to put makeup you hear it's a big deal. Makeup is like war paint. It's not to make your face pretty, but it is to make it so that you are taken seriously when you go out. They think you're a professional if you're wearing makeup and you have a certain, you know, sort of a fixed look. So you can even teach that online. That can be your content generation strategy. That can be something that you become an expert in, right? We're talking about all the things you can do as a teacher. You can teach so many things, right? So putting on makeup, finding the correct makeup for your skin type, the correct makeup for your skin color. These are women, but you know, increasingly men are using makeup too here in the West. So and then in some homes, fog machines. And then I put a little poll here. And look, organically, this has 6 impressions. But if I take you to my actual, just my profile under my own name, you will see that it already has, it had 59 impressions, the same post under my own name. I have about 1,500 contacts on LinkedIn. It has 59 people have looked at it already. 2 co-founders, 1 chief financial officer, 1 priest, 1 chief executive officer, 1 director of account management, and 1 person even put a like on it. This is the dopamine addiction. You know, who's the person that put a like on it, right? Rob Allen, the gentleman from UK. So well, you can do this. You can generate this kind of social media content for people who don't have the time or who are busy doing other things. And there are 33 million businesses in just the United States. You mean to say that at least 10,000 of them will not need a social media content manager they can afford? Yes, that person can be you, right? Our precious teachers, it could be you. You can offer them social media technical support. Now, this is requires a little bit of education and self-training, but it's very doable because you're doing that all the time with whatever subject matter you're teaching anyway. So, and I can provide these materials. Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji and I, we are working on all of these things to help you with, you know, technology skills. So this is something also, if you have interest, we can train you in this. And these are very lucrative careers. For example, this could be easily $50 to $75 an hour. But if you're that you're in India, if you want to charge a little less money, like, you know, $20 an hour, somebody will easily pay you for that. content creator we talked about. Content manager is somebody who decides what is going to each platform. There are so many platforms where you can post and get engagement. Yesterday, I was watching a video on Instagram by somebody called Chris, whose handle is Chris Beat Cancer. This young man had cancer at the age of 23, some 20 years ago. He's 45 years old now. And it was colon cancer, very aggressive and very advanced. And they took out some part of his colon and they said that they were going to offer him chemotherapy. And he said no. And it's a very brave thing for such a young person to do. And he treated himself with diet and with raw vegan diet and with juicing. Okay. And his friend Doug Evans and he were having a conversation and they were exchanging all these technical tips. And the friend Doug Evans, he is an expert on sprouting, how to grow sprouts, which sprouts have the most anti-cancer compounds, which sprouts have the most anti-inflammatory compounds. And they were talking with each other, and suddenly Doug Evans popped his handle on TikTok, on the chat, Instagram chat, and there he calls himself the Sprouts Wizard, you know. So people in their 60s are using these platforms to market their services and to sell what they know, whatever they know, and they're teaching it. See, as a teacher, you already have the teaching skill. So all this is just the addition of content or technicality, depending on your area of interest. You can teach somebody how to grow orchids, how to keep orchids alive for a long period of time. My son last week gave me a potted orchid, which is white, beautiful white flower. And it's 1 week and I'm so terrified that I will kill it. If somebody said, okay, for $10, I'll teach you how to keep your orchid alive for the next 6 months, I would pay it. Immediately I would pay and learn how to keep that orchid, because that's the first time he's earned money and he's bought me with his own income, right? So you don't know what people need until you go out there and offer something that maybe you have faced. Maybe you gave your wife some orchids, or your wife gave you some orchids and you killed it off or whatever, and they were deeply upset. And now you know how to do it because you studied it and you can teach me. So it's just what you encountered in life that you go in depth. And when you go in depth, you can teach it, right? So you can be a content creator. You can be a content manager because you'll create and then you decide which platforms to post it in, how many times a week, what time of the day to post it, what kind of content to post. Is it going to be a poll? Is it going to be a photograph with a write-up? Is it going to be a little short video? Is it going to be, some sort of a document? The manager decides all those things. The content creator will create what the manager says. Now go create a post with some colorful pictures on Halloween and a poll at the end of it. Then the content creator will go do that, right? So then you can be a social media customer support manager. So let's say this was the thing I wanted to show you was on Facebook. Now, these are things that honestly, in my lifetime, I never thought I had to learn. I'm a medical doctor. What does a medical doctor have to do with social media, right? But here, Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji will tell you that his daughter is working on this for the Indian School of Business, and even business people, even entrepreneurs, everybody needs to learn this, because this is how you market and sell your services. I'm going to show you my Facebook. And this was actually shocking to me. This is my Taproot Asthma Control Center. And I've subscribed to a bunch of people. So Medical Medium and other people, Journey to Wellness, doing it yourself, healing naturally, a lot of things that I would like to share with people, right? So now I go here and I'm looking at my posts, and look at this. I had 109 people like this particular post. What was this post? It was about an actor who people really like, and how he has asthma and how he's dealing with asthma, and how he's an adult with asthma who had asthma as a child. And you can see 111 people have liked this post. All I did was find something about somebody everybody knows or think they know and put it under Taproot Asthma Control. So suddenly I have 111 followers. You see that? So many people put a love on it. I just found out this morning, this is 2 days after they did. So many people put likes on it. right? And then here's a second post. This is about how breathing can impact our brain. And 33 people have liked and loved it. So I just wanted to share with you the power of this and how literally with one post, you can get 100, 200, 400 followers, or it goes viral. And suddenly you have a lot of customers or prospective customers, and then you start nurturing them. Once they have attached to your social media content, then you can be a social media content generator, social media customer service manager, social media nurturer. Then there are softwares that are available where you can use the creation, these social media people who come to your posts, you can magnify and amplify interacting with them. And with artificial intelligence, you can go out, look for more people like them who need help with asthma with their children, even if they may not be easy to find by Facebook, so there is a lot that, and it's just a matter of maybe a month of training, So I'm back to the presentation. Are you able to see the presentation? Okay, now I'm showing it. So social media customer support manager is somebody who responds to anybody who leaves a comment there. I forgot to show you that, but 111 people put a like or a love on that post, and one person actually took the time to type in something and said, this is really good. I really like this share or something like that. And then I just wrote back, but I didn't know they had written 2 days ago. So today I wrote and I said, thank you so much. We're here to help you. Anything you need, I'm here to help. Now, if I had a customer support manager, they would have responded promptly. The promptness is a feature of a great success. It's a feature, responsiveness and promptness is a feature of successful businesses, of gentlemanly and gentle lady conduct. And in the West, promptness is basically converts to money. When you respond promptly, people take you seriously. You have credibility when you respond promptly and timely, right? I'm sure that's the case everywhere. So in India, we are more forgiving. Here, it's very not forgiving. Now, the man who wrote the comment 2 days ago has already moved on to somewhere else, right? Okay, then you have social media marketing manager. This is how you use people once you get the leads, how you find out what they need and give them what they need. With or without money, give them what they need. Then if their grandchild has asthma or their niece has asthma, then they'll be like, oh, you know what, go to PRIYA because she helps people, children, parents of children with asthma. So marketing managers build relationships and they show the people what you are about, what you are doing for people. And over a period of time, that may or may not convert. We don't do things for money, and money will come when we do the right thing for the audience we are choosing to serve. So we choose the audience first that we are serving. And I have chosen the mothers of children with asthma, or parents, you could say. And so we are putting out content that audience will consume. And over a period of time, there will be enough mothers with really sick children who will be so grateful for our help because their doctors can only spend 15 minutes with them once every 3 months or 6 months. And some of them cannot even see their doctors for 6 months or a year. So that is the situation. So here are some more tech paths that opened up during the pandemic. And one is resident technology wizard. Okay, so that just means you know how to troubleshoot computer problems and copy machine problems, right? So what do? Let's say that somebody has a copy machine that is an advanced model that maybe you don't have access to. Then you just have, let's say it's a Konica Minolta model 45E or something. I don't know, I'm just throwing out some names. Then you download the 45E manual and you go over it with them and you tell them, okay, according to, if you have this kind of an error message, you're supposed to do this. Have you done this? Have you cleared the cache? Have you, pushed these buttons to restart the machine? And, one of those things will work. So just troubleshooting with the manual, even if you don't have the machine, but knowing and doing it peacefully, calmly, in a collected way, that will solve the problem, right? So technology wizard is somebody who also chooses what software to use. Let's say you have a lot of teachers and they want to consult you. Let's say you have a geography teacher, a history teacher, a calculus or a geometry teacher, and you know all the softwares there are that help the teacher who's a geometry teacher or an algebra teacher or a geography teacher or a history teacher, music teacher, maybe economics, right? Let's say you've studied all the softwares, and now you advertise yourself as a tech wizard for teachers, okay? Then the teacher says, okay, I want a half-an-hour consultation with you. Okay, you charge $10 or $20. And you tell them, ma'am, there are these 10 or 12 softwares for geography. I have tried them all out and I can show you like little demos. And I think for your particular need, based on what you've described, these 1 or 2 are the best softwares. So that's a job. You can do that job because you've studied the material and you're teaching somebody who doesn't have the time or doesn't know where to look. Or they may not know, they may not even know what their question is, but you clarify it with them. And then I'll finish up with this slide because I don't want to go much beyond that half an hour. So you have Facebook or Meta advertising expert. So this is a very important, it's not easy. It is easy to do once you've done 2 or 3. I can teach you how to be how to do Facebook or Meta advertising. I have had to learn it myself. I can teach you, and Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji and I can teach you this, and Chitra ji. And once you learn and you do it 10 times, 20 times, you automatically become the expert. Then you can charge $50 an hour, and US they will pay it. You can put yourself on Upwork or on Fiverr, and people will pay. If you put $40 an hour, you will get more business than you can handle. Easy. But you take that 1 month training. You've got to take it and you've got to practice it. And you will get there. It is not very doable. Then you can also become a marketing partner with Facebook or Meta, which means you're so good, you've become such a good advertising expert, and you're bringing in so much money in advertising for Facebook that they will preferentially send you business at the level of corporate. If somebody is asking them for an expert who knows how to use their platform. So some of the secrets here are something called Pixel, which is a small piece of code that attaches to anybody that visits your page or that visits your website. And then with that code, you're tracking who they are, where they are. You may track some other things about them. And then you can use that code to find other people just like them to expand your audience or your reach or your prospect for leads. So that's how, and you study the marketing part of the advertising, and you're able to expand the audiences and the source of leads for your customers. Similarly, Google Analytics. Google Analytics is huge. It's vast. If you take Google training, which is very much available in India, I'm pretty sure, you can understand. Again, here, there is something called a tag, which is the same as the Facebook Pixel. It's a short piece of software code. You put it on your website, you put it on your advertisements on YouTube, and then it goes wherever that person clicks. When they click on your ad or your website, that piece of software goes with them. It tells you what all sites they visited, kind of who they are. And then using that, you can find a lookalike audience and 10 times make the audience of marketing for your customer. And once you become an expert at analytics, and you can become a marketing partner for Google, which means if they get, let's say Microsoft wants to use Google platform to advertise, and they need somebody who's very good at it, proficient at it, they'll come to you once you've done a few years of this as an expert, right? So you can become a marketing manager for small companies utilizing Google Analytics and Meta. If you did that, I would come to you as a customer, right? And then you could do content security, which means you want to make sure that it doesn't get hacked, or if it does get hacked, how to get the account back up and running so that you don't lose time, right? And so with that, I will ask Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji if there are any questions. And is everything clear what I have described, or is it confusing, or is it just all about one topic and not enough about others?
It's wonderful, ma'am. It's a wonderful efforts which have been put up by you.
Thank you.
When we are moving ahead with the concept and the vision, and today being the 5th part of the same, I think it's quite innovative, and technology playing very important role, and areas which you have mentioned, content managers, social media technical support provider, content creator, social media customer support manager, social media marketing manager, big data disruptionist, and resident technology troubleshooter, etc. I've noted down all that, and that's something is very meaningful. And I wish to share that our chamber would be more than happy to support you, because we
Thank
have
you.
wonderful people on our panel and known to us that they can build your brand. They can do extensive social media marketing and technical support for your vision.
Really?
We will
Oh
certainly
my
work
goodness.
out. And
How sweet. Thank you.
tomorrow evening, when we meet 8 p.m., our wonderful participants, audience, and galaxy of the youth, and of course, educators. Tomorrow morning, depending on your convenience, we can have our internal deliberations around 9:30, and I can discuss the idea how our chamber can be supportive for your social media to make you number one in that arena, in that region, in that country, so that your growth is our growth. Your wisdom sharing is our wisdom growth. So all that way we will work it out. Thank you, ma'am. Our deep gratitudes and thanks. I look forward meeting you tomorrow morning for our internal discussion at 9:30 India time, and tomorrow evening 8 p.m. India time to join with the global galaxy.
Wonderful.
Thank
you, and I welcome questions, sir. We welcome questions, please. Yes.
Ma'am,
Thank you so much.
I have requested the participants, we take it on the last day on Friday. Okay. Friday, we will dedicate to the question answer. Friday, we will work out a strategy.
Sounds good, sir.
And Friday, we will work out when we close this particular series.